If World War III breaks out, stock up on these 12 powdered foods. 72 hours. That's all the time before store shelves are completely empty. No electricity, no resupply, no second chance to buy. A direct question. How long can you survive with what you have right now? You can still eat, but your body will start getting weaker day by day. To last longer, you need powdered foods, shelf life of 10 to 30 years, lightweight, easy to store, and only need water to use. This list has 12 items, but number 7 is what really matters. It looks completely normal. Most people ignore it. But without it, you might not even feel like eating anymore. Keep going. I'll be blunt about what actually keeps you alive and what just wastes your time. 12. Powdered eggs. Eggs are one of the most common foods in everyday life. But in any crisis, they are also one of the first things to disappear. Fresh eggs can only be stored for a few weeks, and they depend entirely on refrigeration, transportation, and a stable supply chain. When those factors are disrupted, this familiar source of protein nearly vanishes. And that's when powdered eggs become different. In dry form, if stored properly, powdered eggs can last from 15 to 30 years without refrigeration. This turns them from a normal food into a true long-term nutrition source. But what matters more is their value. Powdered eggs provide complete protein, containing all essential amino acids that help the body maintain muscle, recover, and function steadily. After a few weeks in shortage conditions, when your body no longer gets enough protein, you'll start feeling tired faster, recover more slowly, even with the simplest tasks. And that's when the decline begins. The way to use it is very simple. You just mix the powder with warm water in the right ratio. Let it sit for a few minutes so it fully absorbs. Then cook it like fresh eggs. From fried eggs, scrambled eggs to baked dishes, everything can be made without relying on fresh food. But there's one mistake many people make. They buy powdered eggs, but store them the wrong way. Just a little moisture or air getting in can reduce the shelf life from decades to only a few years. To store it properly, you need to keep powdered eggs in an airtight bag, preferably a mylar bag with oxygen absorbers, placed in a dry, cool place away from light. Each time you open it, you should divide it into smaller portions to limit repeated air exposure. A simple but highly effective tip is to always write the storage date on the outside and only open small portions instead of opening everything at once. When fresh eggs disappear, this is not just a replacement. This is what helps your body maintain strength, recover every day, and not collapse after a few weeks when everything starts becoming scarce. If fresh eggs are gone tomorrow, where will you get your protein? 11. Powdered milk. The foundation that keeps your body from breaking down fresh milk is one of the most fragile foods in the modern system. It depends entirely on electricity, transportation, and a continuous supply chain. Just a few days without power or a disruption in transport, and milk nearly disappears completely. But powdered milk is different. When water is removed, the environment for bacteria to grow is almost gone, and that's why powdered milk can last more than 20 years if stored properly. But the most important part is not the shelf life. It's how your body reacts when it's missing. After a few weeks in poor nutrition conditions, when there's not enough protein and calcium, your body begins to change quietly. You get tired faster, aches last longer, and even simple tasks take more time to recover from. You're still eating, but you're no longer as strong as before, and that's how the decline begins. Powdered milk provides protein, calcium, and essential minerals that help maintain bones, the nervous system, and recovery ability. During prolonged periods of crisis, when food becomes repetitive and lacking, these are what keep your body stable. Other foods keep you full, but powdered milk keeps you from breaking down over time. Its use is very flexible. You can mix it to drink directly, use it for cooking, baking, or add it to other dishes to increase nutritional value without changing your habits. However, not all powdered milk is the same. Whole milk powder contains fat and will degrade faster over time, while skim milk powder is more stable and better suited for long-term storage. And the most important part is storage. Temperature, humidity, oxygen, and light are the 4 factors that destroy powdered milk the fastest. Just a small amount of moisture or air getting in can cost you decades of storage without you even realizing it. To maximize shelf life, it must be stored in a cool, dry, airtight, and dark place, preferably in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. A simple but highly effective tip is to divide into smaller portions and only open what you need to limit repeated air exposure. In unstable times, when fresh food disappears and nutrition becomes limited, powdered milk is not just a type of food. This is the foundation that helps your body maintain health, recover every day, and not break down after a few weeks when everything starts running out. And if you think protein is the most important factor in a crisis, the next item might make you rethink your entire preparation. How long do you think your body can last without calcium and protein? 10. Whey protein. What determines whether you can recover or not in most crises? The problem is not an immediate lack of food. The problem is whether you have enough of what helps your body maintain and recover. And protein is always the first thing to disappear. Fresh meat only lasts a few days without electricity. Canned food is bulky and limited, and most of what people store is just carbohydrates. And the dangerous part is, you won't notice it right away. In the first few days, your body still functions normally. But after a few weeks, when there is no longer enough protein, everything starts to change. Muscles gradually weaken, fatigue lasts longer, and recovery ability almost disappears. Simple tasks like standing up, carrying things, or moving around become more difficult. You're still eating, but your body no longer has the ability to repair itself. And that's when the breakdown begins. This is a mistake many people make. They store rice, noodles, sugar, but lack the most important thing: protein. They don't die from hunger. They weaken because their body no longer has the foundation to sustain itself. And that's when whey protein becomes different. In powdered form, whey can last from 10 to 15 years if stored properly. But its real value is not in the shelf life. It lies in its nutrient density. In just a small serving, you get complete protein, containing all essential amino acids that the body cannot produce on its own. This is the most efficient way to compress protein into a small, lightweight, and easy-to-use form. The way to use it is very simple. You just mix it with water or add it to oatmeal, soup, or even other dishes to increase nutritional value. No complicated cooking required. No extensive preparation needed. When your body starts to weaken, this is something that can provide immediate nutrition. But whey protein also has a weakness that many people overlook. It is very sensitive to moisture and air. Just opening it frequently or storing it improperly can gradually reduce its quality over time. The protein can clump, lose its smell, and lose nutritional value without you realizing it. To store it properly, keep whey in a dry, cool place, away from light, and always seal it tightly after each use. It is best to divide it into smaller portions and use them gradually instead of opening one large container multiple times. This helps minimize air exposure and extend its actual usability. In times when everything around you starts to become scarce, whey protein is not a supplement. This is what helps your body maintain strength, recover after each day, and not collapse from within when nutrition becomes imbalanced. And if you think energy is the most important factor for survival, the next item will show you why energy alone is not enough. If your body can no longer recover, how many days can you last? 9. Potato powder. When the problem is no longer food, but the ability to cook on normal days, cooking a meal is something taken for granted. But in a crisis, that changes very quickly. Electricity can be disrupted, gas becomes scarce, and every time you cook is no longer a habit, but a decision that consumes resources. You may still have food, but that doesn't mean you can use it. Many people store rice, dried beans, or foods that require long cooking times. But they don't realize that each time they cook for hours, it gradually drains the fuel they have. After a few days or weeks, the problem is no longer what to eat, but whether you have enough resources to cook. That's when potato powder becomes different. In dry form, with moisture almost completely removed, potato powder can be stored for 20 to 30 years if kept in a sealed, dry, and stable environment. It contains little oil, so it is less likely to go rancid over time, and it does not create conditions for microorganisms to grow. This makes it one of the most stable long-term food sources, but its real value is not in the shelf life. It lies in its ability to convert into energy almost immediately. You only need hot water, or even just warm water in some cases, to create a meal that can be used right away. No complex preparation, no long cooking time. And most importantly, it does not drain your valuable fuel supply. On days when your body is exhausted, when energy drops and standing to cook becomes too much, you don't need a complicated meal. You need something that can provide quick energy, is easy to digest, and does not add extra burden. Potato powder delivers exactly that. However, like many other powdered foods, the biggest mistake lies in storage. Just a small amount of moisture getting in will change the structure of the powder, causing clumping and reducing quality. When exposed to air too many times, its usable life also decreases significantly without you realizing it. To store it effectively, potato powder must be kept in airtight packaging, preferably Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, placed in a cool, dry place away from light. A simple but highly effective tip is to divide it into smaller portions and only open what you need to limit exposure to air and moisture. In a crisis, the problem is not how much food you have. It's whether you can turn it into meals without draining your resources. Potato powder is not just a source of energy. It is a way to help you maintain daily meals while preserving what matters most: the ability to keep going in the days ahead. And if you think energy is the only thing your body needs to survive, the next section will show you why lacking another factor can still cause everything to collapse. If you don't have enough fuel to cook, what can you still eat? 8. Oat powder. 70% of your immune system depends on your digestion. About 70% of the body's immune system is directly linked to the digestive system. That means when your digestion weakens, your ability to absorb nutrients and resist physical decline also decreases. In a crisis, many people still have enough food. But the problem is not the quantity. The problem is that the body can no longer absorb nutrients like before. You eat, but still feel tired. You rest, but don't recover. And that is the sign your body is starting to lose balance from within. Oats address exactly this point. Instead of creating a quick feeling of fullness and then dropping off, oats help maintain a stable state for a longer period. It doesn't create a burst of energy, but keeps the body from declining suddenly. In prolonged conditions, this stability is more important than any short-term energy source. But the real value lies in how it supports the digestive system. With its soft structure and high fiber content, oats help the digestive system function more gently, thereby improving nutrient absorption. This is especially important when the body is already tired or when you no longer have the strength to handle heavy meals. The way to use it is very simple. With just hot water, you can prepare a quick meal without long cooking time and without consuming many resources. It can be used on its own or combined with powdered milk, whey protein to increase nutritional value while still keeping it simple. In terms of storage, oats can last from 10 to 20 years if kept in a dry, sealed environment away from light. However, moisture is still a factor that needs to be controlled. Just a small amount of water vapor getting in will gradually reduce quality over time. Dividing into smaller portions and limiting repeated opening will help maintain stability longer. In a crisis, the problem is not just what you eat, it's whether your body can absorb it. Oats don't make you stronger immediately, but they help prevent you from weakening faster. When your digestive system starts losing efficiency, and when your body can no longer absorb properly, the next question is no longer what to eat, but how to keep your body strong enough to last long term. If you lack fat, how long can your body hold energy? 7. Powdered butter. When the body starts to burn from within, the human body does not run on food alone. It needs a stable fuel source to maintain continuous function. And when that source is no longer sufficient, the first sign is not hunger, but exhaustion. You still eat, but the feeling of cold increases. The body gets tired faster, and energy seems unable to last. That's when fat starts to become deficient. Unlike carbohydrates or protein, fat acts as a deep reserve. It not only provides energy, but also helps the body maintain heat, supports hormone function, and keeps internal systems running steadily. When it is lacking, the body does not collapse immediately, but declines noticeably over time. This is a mistake many people make. They prepare everything, rice, noodles, dried food, but overlook fat. And over time, the body begins to lose its ability to maintain a normal state, even though there is still food. Powdered butter addresses exactly this gap. When processed into dry form, it can last from 20 to 30 years if stored properly. No refrigeration needed, no dependence on complex conditions, and it can be used flexibly in many types of meals. You can mix it into food, add it to porridge, soup, or use it in cooking to increase richness and nutritional value. Just a small amount is enough to create a noticeable difference in satiety and the ability to maintain physical strength. But the most important point lies in storage. Because it contains fat, this product is more sensitive to temperature and oxygen. If exposed to air or light for long periods, its quality will decline and it can develop off odors. To maximize shelf life, it must be stored in an airtight environment, away from light, with stable temperature, and opened as little as possible. Dividing into smaller portions will help control it better and prevent affecting the entire supply. In prolonged conditions, when the body starts to lose stability, what you need is not just food. You need a fuel source deep enough to keep the body running. Powdered butter does not make you feel different immediately, but without it, you will feel it clearly. And when the body has started to weaken, the next question is no longer what to eat, but how to avoid running out. 6. Powdered cheese. When you no longer feel like eating, you open your food, look at it, and know you need to eat, but you don't want to. Not because you are full, not because you have other options, but because everything has become too repetitive. You eat the same thing every day, no flavor, no feeling, and after a while, you start eating less without realizing it. And that's when everything begins to slide downward. The body still needs energy, still needs nutrients to maintain itself. But when you eat less, everything inside begins to change. You get tired faster, recover more slowly, and even simple tasks become harder. Not because you don't have food, but because you are no longer eating enough. This is a mistake most people never prepare for. They store food to feel full, but don't prepare for continuing to eat every day without getting tired of it. Powdered cheese is not a main food. It does not help you survive immediately. But it completely changes how a meal feels. Just a small amount makes food richer, easier to eat, and you start eating more without realizing it. A small change in flavor can make a bigger difference than you think. In addition, it also provides fat and increases nutrient density without increasing food volume. You can mix it into potatoes, porridge, soup, or any simple dish without changing the way you cook. However, this type is sensitive to heat, moisture, and air. Just leaving it exposed a few times will quickly reduce its quality and cause off odors. Keeping it sealed, dry, and dividing it into smaller portions is the simplest way to maintain it long-term. You don't collapse because of an immediate lack of food. You collapse when you start not wanting to eat anymore. And when that happens, everything you prepared before gradually loses its meaning. If you had to eat the same thing for weeks, would you still eat enough? 5. Powdered peanut butter. What determines whether you still want to eat or start skipping meals? You may have enough food, but still not eat enough. It sounds unreasonable, but this happens very often when everything becomes repetitive. You eat the same thing every day. No flavor, no feeling, and after a while, you start eating less. Not because you don't need it, but because you no longer want to eat. And this is when the real problem begins. When you eat less, the body not only lacks energy, but starts losing its ability to maintain itself. You weaken faster, recover more poorly, not because of a lack of food, but because you are no longer eating the amount you need. This is a mistake most people never prepare for. They store food to feel full, but do not prepare for continuing to eat every day. And that's why powdered peanut butter becomes different. With just a small amount, you can completely change the feel of a meal, adding richness, adding depth, making simple dishes much easier to eat. You don't need much, but enough to make you eat more without realizing it. In addition, it provides both protein and energy in one source, something very rare in a food that is lightweight and easy to store. In powdered form, it can last from 15 to 20 years if kept under proper conditions. The way to use it is also very flexible. Mix it, add it to porridge, oats, or other dishes without changing the structure of the meal. But the most important part is not the nutrition, it's the behavior. It helps you keep eating when you no longer feel like eating. To keep it long-term, it must be stored in a dry, airtight environment and limit exposure to air. Even with reduced oil, it is still sensitive to moisture, so dividing into smaller portions is the best way to maintain quality. You don't collapse because of an immediate lack of food. You collapse when you start eating less each day. And sometimes, what keeps you going is just a little bit of flavor. 4. Powdered soup. When a hot meal can keep you calm when everything around you starts becoming unstable, there is something that disappears very quickly, but few people notice. Not food, but the sense of normalcy. Everything becomes cold, repetitive, and lacks familiarity. You eat to maintain, no longer eat for the feeling. And when that state lasts, not only physical strength, but also your mental state begins to decline. A cold meal can help you survive, but a hot meal helps you stay stable. This is exactly where powdered soup becomes different. With just hot water, you not only have a meal, but a familiar experience. Warmth, flavor, and the feeling that everything is still under control. Many people do not weaken because of an immediate lack of nutrition, but because they lose their normal routine. When stress lasts, you eat less, sleep poorly, and the body gradually declines without you realizing it. A bowl of hot soup does not solve everything, but it helps you maintain stability, keep a sense of control, and stay calm during difficult days. In addition, powdered soup often combines multiple ingredients, creating a relatively balanced meal without complex preparation. This is a major advantage when you no longer have much energy or the conditions to cook. To maintain long-term quality, powdered soup must be stored in a dry, airtight environment away from light. Because it contains multiple components, it is more sensitive to moisture than simple powders. When it absorbs moisture, not only does the texture change, but the flavor also declines noticeably. Dividing into smaller portions and limiting repeated opening will help maintain better stability. When living conditions are no longer the same, the problem is not just what you can eat, but whether you can stay calm. Powdered soup does not make you stronger immediately, but it helps you avoid losing control. And when you can still maintain stability, you still have the ability to keep going. Can a hot meal change your state? 3. Fruit powder. When a bit of sweetness makes everything feel normal again, there is something strange that happens when life is disrupted. You still eat every day, but everything becomes tasteless. Not because the food lacks nutrition, but because it loses its familiar feeling. No more sweetness, no more freshness, and gradually, you no longer feel like you are living normally. This is something many people do not prepare for. They have enough food to survive, but lack the things that create comfort. And when that lasts, meals are no longer part of life. They become just a task to complete. Fruit powder addresses exactly that gap. With just a small amount, you can add natural sweetness to any dish. No refined sugar, no complex preparation, but enough to completely change how a meal feels. A hint of fruit flavor can make everything more pleasant, more familiar, and most importantly, easier to accept day after day. In addition, it also provides vitamins, something many people lack when their diet becomes repetitive. Without fresh food sources, the body gradually becomes deficient in micronutrients without you noticing immediately. And that deficiency builds up over time. The way to use it is very simple. It can be mixed with water, added to porridge, oats, or combined with other dishes to create more flavor. You don't need much, but enough to change the feel of the entire meal. To keep it long-term, fruit powder must be stored in a dry, airtight environment away from light. Under proper conditions, it can last from 20 to 30 years. However, because it absorbs moisture easily, dividing into smaller portions and limiting repeated opening is necessary to maintain its original quality. When everything around you becomes repetitive, what you lack is not always nutrition. Sometimes, it's just a familiar feeling. Fruit powder does not just help you add vitamins. It helps you keep a small part of normal life in days that are no longer normal. 2. Vegetable powder. Decline begins with what you cannot see. Not all decline happens immediately. Some things happen very slowly. You still eat, you still function, but your body starts to change without you noticing. That's when you lack vegetables. There are no clear signs in the first few days. But after some time, the body begins to react. Fatigue lasts longer. The digestive system functions less efficiently, and recovery ability decreases little by little. Not because you lack food, but because you lack what helps the body function properly. This is a mistake many people make. They prepare enough calories, enough protein, even enough fat, but overlook vegetables. And when the source of vitamins and fiber is missing, the body can no longer maintain internal balance. You still eat, but your body no longer functions as efficiently as before. Vegetable powder fills that gap. In dry form, it can last more than 20 years if stored under proper conditions. No refrigeration needed, no complex processing required. But it still provides essential micronutrients that the body needs to maintain stable function. Its strength is not in making you feel full, but in helping your body function properly. With just a small amount, you can mix it into any dish: porridge, soup, oats, or other dry foods. It does not significantly change the structure of the meal, but adds what is missing without you easily noticing. But the most dangerous part is this: lacking vegetables does not make you collapse immediately. It makes you weaker slowly. The digestive system becomes less efficient. The body no longer absorbs nutrients like before, and everything you eat gradually loses its real value. This is a silent decline, something many people only realize when it is too late. To keep it long-term, vegetable powder must be stored in a dry, airtight environment away from light. Because it is highly sensitive to moisture, even a small amount of water vapor entering can quickly reduce its quality. Dividing into smaller portions and limiting repeated opening will help maintain better stability. When food sources become limited, the problem is not just whether you eat enough. It's whether your body is still functioning properly. Vegetable powder does not make you stronger immediately, but without it, everything inside you will gradually lose balance. And when the body has lost balance, everything else you stored will no longer deliver its full value. Can you recognize when your body starts lacking micronutrients? 1. Corn powder or supplemental carbs. The final foundation. When everything else is gone, when everything starts running out, you will realize one thing very clearly. Not all foods are equally important. Some make you stronger, some help you stay stable. But in the end, what determines whether you can keep going is the simplest thing: basic energy. You don't always need the best food, but you always need enough energy to maintain minimal function. Moving, thinking, staying warm, and getting through the next day. When that energy is no longer sufficient, everything else stops very quickly. This is the role of corn powder and supplemental carb sources. Not fancy, not remarkable, but the foundation that everything else depends on. It provides a stable energy source, easy to use, and can last for a very long time if stored properly, often over 20 years. You can use it for cooking, thickening dishes, or combining it with other foods to create complete meals. You don't need much, and it doesn't have to be complicated. But it is enough to keep the body functioning when other food sources start to become limited. The important point is this: it is a cheap but effective energy source. When resources are limited, you cannot rely on expensive or hard-to-store items. You need something that can last long, is easy to use, and is always ready when needed. However, like other powdered foods, moisture is the factor that must be strictly controlled. Just a small amount of water vapor getting in can quickly reduce its quality. Keeping it sealed, away from light, stored in a dry place, and divided into smaller portions is the best way to maintain it long-term. When everything else starts to disappear, from fresh food, flavor, to variety, What remains is not the best option. It is what is enough to keep you going. Corn powder does not make you stronger. It does not make you feel better. But it keeps you from stopping. And as long as you can keep going, you still have a chance. You've just seen 12 types of food. But this is not just a list. This is 12 different ways your body can keep functioning when everything around you starts to change. Some help you recover, some keep you stable, some keep you calm, and some simply keep you from stopping. Most people think preparation means storing as much as possible. But in reality, preparation is understanding what your body needs and what will disappear first when things are no longer the same. You don't always need the best things, but you always need enough to keep going. And the most important thing is, you don't prepare when everything has already happened. You prepare when everything is still normal. Because when that moment comes, what you have in your hands is not money or plans, but what you have prepared in advance. If you found this video helpful, save it. You don't need to do everything today. Just start step by step, and you are already ahead of many people. And in the next video, I will show you 6 types of food you will wish you had stored when a prolonged power outage happens.